What is up, guys? We are actually taking a break this week from the Every Diamond Challenge to show you guys something crazy has officially happened and a wrap-up of quite a journey. So we have both our red deer here. One from the crew grind, one from the solo grind. And we head over here. We have our whitetail that came strictly off of the solo grind I did on Rev and Thule. A lot of that was streamed. We have our fallow great one, another one that actually spawned on stream. 2 great one pheasants, one from a crew grind and one from a solo grind. Same with the boar, one from a crew grind and one from the solo grind. Come back over here. We have our great one black bears. Both of them actually came from my solo black bear grind. Great one moose, he came from a crew grind. 3 more fallow. 2 of these came from my solo grind and 1 came from the crew grind, the painted one. Come in here, we have both of our muleys, one from the crew grind, this fella right here, which was my first one. And then the heart rack dripple drizzle came from the solo grind. And then we have one of my favorites, the tar great one, which that has become one of my favorite furs for the tar, the fabled half. Head back in here. And this also came from the solo grind. It's not my favorite, but you know, at least it was. He happened fast, so we'll take it. The great one, Gray Wolf. But that still leaves one, and it left one for quite some time. But this week, we took a break from hunting every diamond and started the Fox Great One grind. And guys, he's already here. The Midnight Poppy. The first ever Great One Fox and the last species I needed to say that I have every species that has a Great One in the lodge. So what I want to do next, guys, is I want to show you guys what the setup looked like on Scotland when we actually took this guy down, and then what the actual hunt looked like. It was in the middle of a storm. It was super cinematic. So let's go ahead and head over to Scotland and take a look. So I guess we can get the weapons out of the way because it's super easy. I will say always use the Quest Reaper for the smaller game, and anything you grind for, use the 300. But what I did for the actual setup itself, so I'll show you now. See how this tent will service this lake. And we got one here. Basically every piece of water has either a tent or a outpost that can service it. And this way I didn't have to use the 4-lake method. I know that is a way a lot of people are getting these Great One Fox, but just follow this right here. You see, like, that ends up kind of servicing both of those lakes. Same here. But this way I felt like I was getting a lot more respawns and a lot of fox were coming in a lot faster than if I had used that 4-lake method. I will say this zone right here, the little swampy area, these 3 kind of marshy parts of the map were difficult, and I eventually shot those down and then, you know, just visited every now and then. Come over here, these are the 4 lakes that a lot of people use, so I put a tent there to service there, tent there. I would run these 2 lakes together, so run here and then move over here. This lake is probably the hottest one in the whole game for fox. I've never seen so many fox that respawn on one lake. And then come down here, we would end up hitting this small lake, which had a couple fox on it. Hit this bigger lake, which was always full of fox. And then after finishing up this lake, we would head over to the coast, which kind of operates like the island on Salswiesen. It's just fox drinking in the open along the coast. We'd run this and we would finish off our run and then repeat. And it ended up spawning our fox, I would say, relatively fast. We were definitely over 1,000 male kills, but all in all, it wasn't that bad. But anyways, guys, this is how we spawned him. Now I want to show you guys the exact moment we actually took down the Great One Fox. So this was after trying to reset time over and over again. We spotted him when he was running away because I shot his female and I didn't see him. And every time I try to go, in the middle of the day when it's nice and bright and to get good view of him and not have to worry about anything, we could not get him to spawn for anything. He was not coming back to this zone. So I decided, hey, let's just head out there a little bit later. So I fast traveled to this tent, and of course I hear the thunder, and I'm like, damn it. It's already the middle of the night. We're already going to be in the middle of a storm. Hopefully this bastard who hasn't showed up would decide again to stay at home since it's dark and it's rainy. But of course, there he is. And in my mind, guys, I'd already decided I have to take him if he's there. He's so finicky about coming to his zone. I've reset time so many times, and he's either, on his way out, or he's just not coming in. So if he's there, we decided we were going to take him regardless of the circumstances. Even though it's raining and even though it's in the middle of the night, we had to get this fox now since he's coming to his zone. And I also decided that regardless of what he was going to do, we were going to not rush this shot. I don't care if he was, ducking behind a rock or something. This was the great one that would be they could come out with a great one that's more difficult. But in all honesty, to me, this is one of the last, trophies that's a flex in Call of the Wild. And there was no chance, I don't care what was going to happen. We had to take him now, but that did not mean we had to mess around and take a risky shot. So what you're about to see is going to be me crawling around trying to get the perfect shot on this guy. And I say that as I've already, lost him because of just how thick this stuff can get down here. But I know he's there. Still don't see him. But after spotting him, I've said forever, people know, I have one flavor of fox, one fur type that I just cannot stand, and thank God this guy was actually probably one of my top 3 furs. I think it's either Midnight Poppy, Blood Moon. That's probably my top 2 right there. I do like the Licorice though. Those are probably my top 3. The one I didn't want was I think it's the Cherry Blossom, the pinkish colored one. And that's just, it's not the fur so much, but it's just how slick he looks. There he is. Finally got him to show back up. And of course, this shit needs to get fixed. And maybe it's me, maybe I should remap things, but I will hit the camera button, which is completely useless, by the way, on PlayStation. I know PC people, it serves a purpose for you guys. On console, it's completely pointless outside of the mission. So I don't understand why it's so prominent, why it's got to be the square button right there. But the amount of times that I would be lining up a shot and get stuck and then have to squat and jump and shit trying to get out of that camera view and ended up spooking an animal is just I don't just want to say it happens every day, but man, it's pretty common. And when you're talking about a great one fox, definitely was an inconvenient time for that to happen. He's still kind of quartered away from us. This is another thing about fox, guys. And again, if you listen to me, it doesn't really matter. You'll use the 300 and you'll smoke. You could shoot them in the tail and they'll drop dead. But a lot of times when you're trying to line up a good shot, it's hard to tell which way this guy is facing. Because a couple times, he looks, at least initially, like he's quartered away from us, right? But a couple times you'll see, it's almost like his face is looking right at us. So I couldn't really determine which way to go with this shot. So I ended up having to crawl back up. You'll see that in a second, but oh man, And the plan is still, I also have another video that's got to come out from this whole grind. You know, I've been on Reventuli trying to get the last 2 diamonds from Reventuli. But while I've been hunting fox and setting up fox, I killed a ton of trophies from Scotland. So probably have to do a video just with all the different trophies we found while setting up. It's actually kind of crazy. I know, you know, badgers, a couple of rare birds. We're getting almost lined up for our fox now. And you see what I'm saying? Just the thunder and the lightning, like, absolutely, of all the times, an absolute mess for you to come out here and actually give me a shot. Middle of the day, he is not interested. Let's almost take it right there, but this to me is the last, you know, flex trophy in Call of the Wild. Everything else has kind of been watered down. To me, the Great One Fox is the last trophy that, you know, you just don't see a lot of. But right there, that felt good. The minute I pulled the trigger, that felt good. But you know, it starts going through your head. If I spied a fox and I have to go, you know, take out another 1,000 male fox, I think I would have to take like a sick day, like a sabbatical. Like, it would be about a month before I'd be like, okay, let's go back to taking out fox. But you can already see the vital blood. So here it is, guys. Every Great One in the game ends with a beautiful fox, probably my favorite fur. Look at, he's so perfect. Even the little bit of white at the end of his tail is just, oh, chef's kiss. But guys, there it is. I have said we have to get every diamond and every Great One the minute the channel started, and one of those things is officially accomplished. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. One last look at the beautiful Great One Fox. Guys, I've been Prince Pyramid, and everybody have a good one.